Howdy guys, how's it going in there? Look at the size of this log. We've decided to load one of the black walnuts logs up. This ain't the biggest one we got. This is actually would be the third log in the tree. It was a big, nice tree. The neighbor wants whatever we can get out of it, 2x whatever we can get, 2x8s, 10s, or whatever he's gonna he's gonna try to make a tabletop, like a joined together tabletop. But yeah, it's got knots, it's got character, it's got limbs. I can't wait to see what's on the inside. And this ain't even the biggest log, but it's a beauty. Can't wait to see what's in here. So it was a little rainy all week, cold for April. You know, like I said this morning, it was 23 degrees. I don't know what's going on with Mother Nature. Mother Nature, get your act together, would you? But anyhow, we got this bad boy loaded up in the log bunks. Got to clean and scrape off some of the mud from what was laying up here in the field, and try to get it over on the sawmill. It's got knots, and I don't know how well it's going to roll, but stick with us. We'll get it on there one way or another. Alrighty guys, we got it loaded. Sorry if I'm talking a little loud. We got the saw started up to warm up. But it's a little cooler out. We got 50 degrees is all I got today here in West Virginia. So we got the log loaded up. Saw's warming up. Everything's ready to go. We greased the bearings and everything. We're going to do our first cut. We wasn't quite sure how to start cutting this log with all its knots and limbs and little tubers and all that kind of stuff in it. There should be some really interesting grain in here. Too bad he didn't want to slab this one up to do like a river epoxy table or something, but we'll get the most we can for him because, hey, he gave us that big free walnut log that we'll be slicing up for you guys here soon. Stick with us, we're going to do our first cut. Time to take the first piece of wood off. Actually, might be some kind of knot that I can use for wood turning or something. Some kind of cool ass grain to be in here. Went ahead and did a 2-inch slab off of this. We had to get down to mostly the heartwood anyways, because this was a lot of the bark and stuff in there, and hopefully we're not a whole bunch of bug damage. Hopefully get past that so we can get some, I guess, some clear lumber he's looking for. So let's pull this off. Ooh, almost fell over. Alright guys, the situation so far, he wanted clear lumber out of this, which we couldn't predict what was going to be inside. We didn't know there was old limbs that was taken off or broke off or whatever, but the farther we cut down on that slab, it just opened up bigger cavity. So my guess is what we're going to need to do is probably slab it again to try to get down there, but that hole goes deep in there.
Yeah, we just continue to slab it if there's no.
And then try to roll it over to that flat edge and start going down with it that way, because we're going to be running into these bunks anyways, or log stops. I'll give you guys a look here real quick. If you guys can see it or not. We need to get our lights and stuff in here, but this was a pocket, looked like full of squirrel poop. And like I said, these big knots here. Beautiful grain around this. There's a little bit of a curl grain right here. It's got this cool swirl patterns and stuff that's in here. Perfect for the kind of stuff that we wanted, like river tables and epoxy tables. But then we cut down, and then that's a big cavity down in there. So, yeah. Let's try to slab it again and see if we can get past any of this. And maybe find some clear lumber in here somewhere for him. I hope we find something. If not, maybe we'll find another tree to cut for him, or another slab table. I don't know. We'll figure something out. sorry guys, because in your way, the way the log, it bends, it's not sticking out past our log stops a little bit, so it was barely catching part of the roller guide on the one side, so I was trying to make sure it wasn't going to jam up or get messed up, but we made it through, so we're going to have to adjust the log, roll it somehow to try to get some further cuts out of it. But let's pull this one off and get a look at this one. Out of the way, so. Heavy? And it's got a huge ant damage hole here, of course, but when you're doing resin stuff, look, that's what you want. It's got a neat swirl knot over here, and some really cool grain. Look at this grain and stuff that's in here. Oh, there's ants still in here. We found the culprits. They're right there. They're coming back. Alrighty. But yeah, this cavern down here. Talk about epoxy.
Walnut's poisonous to about everything, probably but ants. Wildlife down there, you can't use it for better.
It's not good around horses, cattle, or nothing. Ants seem to eat it.
Ants will eat anything.
Guess you can't use it for an ant deterrent.
No.
But the sawmill's running and cutting it real nice looking. It's smooth cutting. Mustache handlebars.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool looking.
Epoxy.
Right there, see? Culprit. We got her lowered, or we got the log slops lowered. We was afraid if we tried to shim this, it'll be off level again, and then we would be wasting an off kilter, not even slab. We're going to try to take another slice off and see how much this damage is left to try to get the maximum amount of non-hole bug damaged lumber we can get for him. Clear lumber. I mean, it's not going to be clear because the grain's swirled and stuff, but we don't want the bug damage in there. So we're going to take another slice off. I had to trim some of the bark off the edge here a little bit. And up there, we should be able to get one more slice before we have to possibly flip it over. One more slice down, and it barely cleared, as you can see. It barely cleared. Let's take a look at this slice. You mean the widest piece? Yeah. The widest part is 17 and a half. Heavy?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. These waves.
That's 18 and a half inches there. 17 there. And 21 there. Let's take a look at this grain. There you get some of the crotch figure grain right here. You'll get, because of this limb coming up here, the secondary limb. There's a little bit of grain here.
Right here.
Bark inclusion, and with this one here, you're just starting to get a little bit of curl, compression figure, feathering action here. It's looking a little bit better, guys. What do you think?
Now, from here over, I don't know exactly. Let's see if there's a 6-inch on that thing.
I don't know how far
6-inch 2x.
that goes clear over. You might be having 8-inch there. I thought we measured it from up there. It was 6-inch.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's not we could get at least a 6.
yeah, we can get at least a 6 out of this one if you wanted this to cut.
We'd have to stand this up.
Like across here, leave some of that figure in there. I'd cut it across here.
If we cut
down
this
there.
off and then come down
We'll
6
call him to
inches.
come over and go from there with it.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because, you know, it'd be a shame to cut all these up to get a couple little boards and stuff at it. What do you guys think? I know that's what the customer wants, but sometimes Mother Nature throws a monkey wrench, a curveball, whatever you want to call it, in the mix. It's got beautiful grain. It would make a beautiful table as is if you do the epoxy filling on the live edges and the bug damage or the ant damage or what all that. It'd still make a beautiful table that way, but some people just don't like epoxy stuff, which is, you know, it's all fine and dandy. I love all kinds of woodworking, but sometimes it just calls for it. Mother Nature usually the one that's in charge. So I'm going to get you set back up. We're going to flip this log probably over to the flat side down and try to take some measurements and figure out to make sure we get like 2-inch slabs all the way down. That's all we can do, guys. Let's pull this one off. See what she's in it. Maybe we got lucky and actually get some 2-bys out of it for me.
Right here.
Good for like 9 damage.
Right here, I don't know if we'll get it. You have to get all the way down into here. Now you ain't gonna get a 2x6 out of this.
No, because the way the bark goes.
No, but it's a pretty good piece.
It could be like a 2x5 and be still alright.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't. For very little bug damage, it looks like. I'm gonna put this one on top of that one.
We can stack them right there.
I'm gonna sit on top of this one for now.
Yeah.
I hope any be able to see it or not. Woohoo! Look at that. It's got that chatoyance going on. It's got a little bit of the crotch figure grain in there, compression figure. It's all based off of this limb came off of here, but
That's pretty well. Straight grain there.
it's got a little bit around. Bless you. That's cool. Yeah, that'd be hard to pass. Leave that not in it.
10, 11-inch board.
Show them that cool knot right there in front of you.
This knot.
Yeah. Let's see where it has a little bit of bark inclusion, bug damage. It's got this curl effect in here.
Oh, it comes up there. That's pretty.
That's really pretty grain. I love that grain right there.
Thing it is we're gonna cut this straight. That's yeah, it's 6.5. You'll get 3.
So we'll get 3 more slabs.
Yeah.
So good news is we may get some slabs that we want to keep ourselves out of this deal for this log, and you might have just enough straight grain to get
It's tabletop.
like maybe a 40-inch wide, 38-inch wide tabletop.
Yeah, we can get 11 inches out of that. This next cut, but the next cut.
All right, guys, this one here is a money winning one. You can shut the water off if you want. See what's left. It's probably gonna be a long video, but finally got down to a little bit of chatter there. Always a little bit of chatter here when it first enters.
I think a lot of it's when I'm dragging on the side. It's the maximum cut until we move that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to move that.
Yeah, we've never.
We never had that. Well, we moved it once for that first walnut one. We had to slide over because the crotch part was wide. But
Yeah.
what do you think, guys?
Probably not. do, I guess, is simply just
Straight grain. Oh, besides the
straight grain.
straight grain, but it's no bug damage grain. That's what I like. I like the bug damage stuff with the resin, but that's what I like to see for the customer who's wanting this. This here is going to be a great piece for him to have a tabletop. We'll run and trim off the bark edges, and should be able to get a pretty good wide board out of that one, plus a 10-inch one on this one, and the next one we may have enough. We should have enough for him to be satisfied with. Alright guys, we got down to, there's a 2 1/4 inch slab left on here. The saw, was it 2 1/4 or 2 1/2?
It's 2 3/8.
2 3/8. Okay. The saw was getting a little bit dull, but for the most part, I think we'll be able to achieve the lumber he wanted out of this. Thank goodness. Mother Nature, thank you. You produce good, beautiful stuff, even with ant marks and stuff in it. I like it. But anyhow, I'm gonna get a little bit of water and we'll throw in this one last slab over here, and let you guys take a look at it, and possibly this other slab over here, and let you guys take a look at that. And what do you guys think of that? And a cool knot here. Some other knots back when it was a first growing juvenile tree. It does have a little pinhole here for bug damage, but I'm gonna call that one still pretty clear, pretty good for that. Yeah, I could throw a little bit of epoxy in that, and it won't affect it too much anyways. But man, love walnut. Up here has a little bit of that compression figure around this knot. If you guys can see it, always makes us some cool eye candy. And this one up here, beautiful stuff. Got a little glare. You guys can see it. It's got a lot of cool grain around this triple limb here, bark inclusion here. Got some cathedral rays here, really pretty. There's some of that ant bug damage. Oh, there's another ant in there, a queen one, it looks like. Come down, it's got some pretty clear stuff through here, some really cool character. And then of course down here to the ant damage. Other than that, this stuff it's pretty nice. Walnut dust. Anyways guys, thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to talk to the neighbor and discuss what all kind of went down for the bug damage with this tree. We're going to talk to him and explain exactly what we think we can get out of it so he could be satisfied. And it looks like we should be able to get what he wants out of it and left over some slabs for us. Yes. So until next time guys, happy and safe woodworking, and remember, I love you. Like and subscribe.